Oh, yeah. Big shot, show me the money. Talk is cheap. All in, double or nothing. I'm hard to beat. Well, they say it's always worth it. You'll never know one unless you try. But I know whatever hands you God's a lesser prize. Just for trying. You get nothing. Trying. Just you wait and see. My heart has more heat. Last night you were rocking on the...
Well, it's been a long time since the BCQ crew has headed out to Buffalo County, but this year, our dad Chuck gets to head out to hunt with Mark Schuh at Schuhter's Outpost. But first, he's going to stop off in Green Bay and watch our little brother Cody play some hockey.
Hockey and hunting have always gone hand in hand in the Keefer household. There's no question about it. Casey and I played at various levels through our entire career, and now we've got a two-time national champion in Cody, our littlest brother, who is not very little anymore. This is a big guy. He's a goal scorer. He plays over at St. Norbert's in Wisconsin. They are two-time national champions in the past 2 years. Now, my dad and my mom try to make it to every game they can. They go across the pond, as they say, over to Wisconsin as much as they possibly can to watch him play. So he's going to stop by Green Bay, check out the first game of the season, the banner raising ceremony, the whole thing, and then he's headed off to Schuhter's Outpost in Wisconsin because it's also deer season.
You know, where we grew up, hockey and hunting went hand in hand, and being able to sit back now and live vicariously through Cody, who's still playing hockey at the collegiate level, is something that I love to do, but I feel his pain because Cody absolutely loves to hunt. He only gets to hunt with us in the spring. His falls are spent on the ice, and ours are spent hanging in trees.
Well, it's the magic week, the week of Halloween. We're headed to Buffalo County, Wisconsin. First time in the tree this year. Kind of excited about it.
When the rigors of the fall set in, there's so many different states that we have to try and get to for whitetails. We're hunting the Midwest, we're hunting Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri. A lot of times we're all over the place. But it's nice to have the old man as a fill-in when we can't make certain hunts, and he always obliges. He's famous for an episode that he filmed last year that we had called Dead in 8 Steps, where he killed a monster bear in the spring. But this year he's going to try out his luck in a whitetail stand for us in the middle of big buck country in Buffalo County, Wisconsin.
Mark is a great kid. He's a young guy. He's super motivated. He has trail cameras running at all times. He's one of those guys that really studies his deer and his property. He can put you on big bucks at any moment. The guys waste absolutely zero time. They go through some trail cam pictures. They're combing through, looking at some of these giants that Mark has, and then they got to hang a stand, get in it, because Mark has an idea where a big buck's traveling.
3 o'clock. We're heading down into a bowl down here. We've got to hang a double set and need an extra tree stand for the camera guy. We're in Buffalo County, Wisconsin. We've taken a look at some trail cam pictures. There's just a ton of big deer on these 2 farms right here, so hopefully we get a peek at one of them tonight. We don't have much time, so we're gonna go down and get this stand hung up. We've been traveling all day, and believe it or not, we are down in the middle of a funnel, a bowl. Just a pinch point between these 2 mountains right here next to us. Heavy timber where we are, and food crop on both sides. There's a lot of sign here. Timber road, old timber logging road runs right next to us here. I think they're just using that as a highway.
Well, it doesn't take long after these guys hang a stand. Rich is filming my dad on this hunt. They get comfortable, they look up, and an 8's already making his way in. That's a phenomenal way to start out your first hunt. Get in the stand and have about 130 to 135 inch 8 come right underneath you. Deer are moving. It's the right time of season. It's just going to take the right buck.
We're kind of running out of light here. We had that, what I think was a 3-year-old 135 inch deer, I guess, 135 inch deer come in. Walked right up that timber road there. We're going to get out of here and jump back in here first thing in the morning.
Overall, not too bad for the first sit. They got that nice 8 that came through there. While he's not a giant, you can definitely tell the genetics are in the area.
Things worked out so good in that stand, they're going to jump in there in the morning, so you give it one more sit and it looks like the deer are already moving.
So far from that same stand, that's a second deer. He's also a good 8. He's got a lot taller tines, but he's still a young deer. They're hoping to see that Schuhter.
They're definitely in the right area. It's the right time of season. Things are starting to move. It's just a matter of finding that right buck.
I just had a kind of a borderline Schuhter go through here. He's probably knocking on 140 inches at an 8 point, but we have so many big deer on trail camera right here in this area.
One thing about our dad is that he will come prepared. I mean, with all the gear. He looks like Nanook of the North standing up there. He's got on headgear and face paint, which apparently was dark when he put on because he is heavy paint.
We have 7 really big deer on this farm, at least that we know of.
I know it's cold in Wisconsin in the fall, but I feel like you're hunting muskox. I feel like you're aggressively overdressed and lots of paint. Lots of paint.
And kind of been watching him all summer, and he was just like kind of right there, but one more year he'll really be big.
Apparently it was really dark when he decided to put on face paint. Really dark.
Well, all in all, not too bad. 2 nice 8s from the same stand. The one they saw this morning had a little bit taller tines, but he was still a little bit young.
Well, we're back out of the tree and headed back to camp. One of the guys in camp shot an 8 point last night, said it was a real nice deer. They watched it run out of the field, so they let it go and let it lay overnight. They're going back this morning to take a look. And
Well, while the old man's seeing deer, he's seeing a lot of younger deer. But from what he's heard back at camp, one of the other hunters has got a good mature buck on the ground.
yeah, when you walk down there and there he is, you go, yes.
Yes. It was a little more than yes, but
Yeah, a lot of hugs.
Well, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
From the looks of it, the skunk's out of camp. Congratulations, Rocky. That's a great deer. 143-inch deer with a 20.5-inch spread. Not too bad for the end of October. One of the things that Mark does best out there in Wisconsin is running trail cameras. He is a religious trail camera user. He's running all of his trail cameras over Rack 1 accelerator pits, and he has got his deer dialed in. He knows every single stand, where every single deer is coming from, his travel, his bedding, his food, everything. This guy uses trail cameras to pinpoint big deer, and he does a really good job at it.
While my dad's in Wisconsin, I'm down in Kansas having the same luck. I'm rattling, I'm doing all the tactics that need to be done. I'm getting a lot of little deer. I'm just not at that point in the fall where the big bucks are coming in.
It's working. Rattling.
bang the antlers together for just a second just to see within a minute. Had a young buck come right in.
Now with me being in Kansas and things just starting to pick up there, and Dad's up in Wisconsin, it's that infamous time of year of Halloween that I talked about earlier. We've had some good success on Halloween. Casey has had great success on Halloween considering he shot that 186 monster in Kansas. That's what I'm looking for. All the tactics are working, just a matter of getting that right one. I keep saying it, but I'm telling you, we're getting close.
You know, we're pretty diehard whitetail hunters, and we take a lot of caution when we're getting into and out of the stands. We play the wind all the time, and it's rare that we run into somebody that is as cautious as us, but Mark is the exact same way. This guy knows his ground so well that he knows exactly how to get in and out of every single stand according to what wind. He knows what deer are going to be in that area and where they're coming from. I mean, he has got things absolutely dialed in.
It's a great spot. We're sitting right in the bottom here. 3 big valleys, 3 bluffs come together here. Just a giant travel corridor.
Mark decides he's going to put my dad in a new stand location, and being the trail cam guru that he is, he knows exactly where these bucks are traveling. He's seen a big deer in here. He puts him in the stand and tells him, just watch right here. He's going to come down off this hill, and at some point he's going to get to 40 yards. Now this little buck does exactly what Mark said he was going to do. He comes down off the hill, he comes right towards the tree stand. My dad ended up grunting this deer in 5 different times throughout the entire morning.
October 29th. Buffalo County, Wisconsin, Schuhter's Outpost. We got here, sat down. We were shocked at the number of big deer he's got on trail cameras, and Mark does a great job preseason scouting. 3 nice bucks have hit the ground this week, a couple in the 160s, one in the 150s. The farm we're on right now has 2 deer that are 160, maybe a little bigger. We have pictures of them as recent as 2 days ago. Right here, there was nobody here in the stand, but they were here at 8 o'clock in the morning. One of them was.
Schuhter. It's a 6x6.
Everything Mark has said to this point has come true. He told my dad to get in that stand and look right here. He knew from trail cam pictures that 6x6 was going to cross, and sure enough, finally, after days sitting in the stand, the buck's on his way in.
You want him?
This is a situation we've all been in as hunters. You hit a deer and you gotta watch him. You gotta watch him for a distance. A lot of people make the mistake of just turning around, they're so excited they don't know where the deer went. You gotta watch him and find out what signs he's giving you. If it's a bad hit, if it's a good hit, you'll tell. You can look at his tail, is it flicking, is he hunched over? You're marking stuff in case you can't find blood. You gotta watch that deer all the way until he goes out of sight.
We just put a shot on a deer here. Looked like a mainframe 6x6. It came down off that hillside and stopped right out here at about 40 yards from me. I hit him just a hair back and up a little bit, right into the shoulder.
After about 2 hours in the stand, my dad gets down, he goes over, he's looking at the arrow, he decides he thinks he hit him just a little bit high in the shoulder. He didn't get a whole lot of penetration, so now he's got to go back and talk with Mark and figure out what to do.
You know, after all that time in the tree stand, the old man finally gets a crack at the 6x6, and it's a 40-yard shot. Now, 40-yard shots are not easy. Where this deer happened to come down off that little ridge right there, there's two trails, one bust to the right that comes closer to the stand and one bust to the left that goes up away from the stand. When that deer came down, my dad determined he was committed to going left. He was going to actually disappear and leave the area on him, so that's why he decided to make a 40-yard shot. After looking for that deer for a long time, looking high and low and all over that piece of property, they couldn't find him. But you know, my dad was really happy when he got that trail camera picture back from Mark showing that that deer was still alive and still on his feet.
He's out and about and he's running. And just to make things clear, a couple days after he leaves, Mark finds him on a trail camera. The 6x6 is up, he's healthy, and he's doing his thing, which means this year, he's on the hit list.